Humanity stood on the precipice of the unknown, their gaze cast toward the vastness of space. It was no longer a distant frontier. They had pushed the boundaries of exploration, reaching farther into the galaxy than anyone had thought possible. The sleek, glowing ships that dotted the stars were no longer just symbols of human ambition. They were beacons of humanity's ingenuity. Advanced propulsion systems, artificial intelligence capable of autonomous decision-making, and artificial habitats that could survive the harshest environments, these were no longer dreams, but realities. "We're at the edge, Lena," Monroe said as he looked out across the dark expanse of the cosmos. "The galaxy is ours for the taking." The hum of the engines and the soft glow of the ship's interior contrasted with the darkness outside, and yet it all felt so small compared to what lay ahead. Humanity had reached a technological zenith. The stars were no longer unreachable. Yet as the ships of Earth sailed through the unknown, they began to encounter remnants of a long-lost civilization. Deep within the unexplored regions of space, the first signs of the elder race had been uncovered. Towering ruins, strange artifacts, and cryptic structures. These ancient markers of a once great species held promises of untold knowledge, but also raised chilling questions. What had happened to the elder race? Where had they gone? And why had they left these secrets behind? Lena Marcus stood in awe as the team approached the ruin. Her eyes flickered with excitement, but a shadow of doubt lingered. The answers she sought were somewhere in those structures. Humanity's next step, she felt, depended on unlocking them. Lena Marcus wasn't like the other. While the world outside hailed human exploration as an achievement of unparalleled greatness, she spent most of her time in the shadows. Her mind, brilliant and sharp, often felt as though it had been left in the dark corners of academia, ignored by the very field she loved. She had always known the stories, the whispers of ancient civilizations that had come and gone, each one leaving behind relics and secrets that could change everything. The elder race, the beings who had ruled the galaxy before them, had left behind more than just ruin. Their technology, their knowledge, was far beyond humanity's comprehension. But who would listen to a woman whose theories were dismissed as fantasies? "You're wasting your time, Lena," her colleagues had told her, shaking their heads in disbelief. But that never stopped her. If anything, their rejection fueled her fire. She knew what humanity could become if they understood the elder race's secrets. Every fiber of her being believed in the potential of the lost civilization's technology. It was more than just the quest for knowledge. It was about humanity's future. And despite the odds, she was determined to be the one to unlock it. "One day they'll understand," Lena muttered to herself, staring at the relic before her. "One day they'll see." Her obsession with the elder race wasn't just academic. It was personal. The thought of Earth being stuck in its own limitations, confined to the safety of their solar system, frustrated her. But the stars were beckoning, and with every new discovery, she was one step closer to bringing humanity to the next level. It was the artifact that changed everything. Lena had spent days analyzing the strange relic. It didn't resemble any known technology, and its composition was unlike anything humanity had encountered. But she wasn't deterred. She knew that the answers were hidden somewhere in its design, in its data, waiting to be unlocked. Then, late one night, it happened. As Lena ran her hands over the surface of the artifact, a sudden pulse of light emanated from it, revealing an encrypted message hidden deep within the artifact's core. Her heart raced as she worked to decrypt it, each line of text sending shivers down her spine. When the message finally appeared in full, her breath caught in her throat. "Beware. The end is coming, an event that will consume all life. Only the strong will survive. We could not prevent it, but you must. Your time is running out." The implications were immediate. The elder race had known about something catastrophic, that was approaching the galaxy. Their message was a warning. The civilization that had once ruled the galaxy, with all its advanced technology, had failed to stop the disaster. Now it was up to humanity to prevent the same fate. Lena's mind raced. A cosmic disaster. What could it be? What could be powerful enough to threaten all life across the galaxy? She had uncovered a truth that not only changed her life, but could change everything for humanity. The clock was ticking, and the countdown to destruction had already begun. The days that followed were filled with tension. Lena's discovery was met with skepticism, disbelief, and for some, outright hostility. Her colleagues scoffed at her findings, dismissing them as the delusions of an overzealous archaeologist. Some even accused her of fabricating the message, eager to protect their own reputations or avoid the panic such a discovery would surely bring. You're telling me that some ancient race knew about an apocalyptic event, and we've got to stop it? That's insane, Lena. Her superior, Dr. Grayson, argued, slamming his hand on the table. This is just another wild theory, and it's going to ruin your career if you keep pushing it. But Lena wasn't deterred. The truth was there, and she wasn't going to back down. She could feel it in her bones. Humanity had a choice. They could ignore the warning, live in denial and let the inevitable happen. Or they could take action, face the unknown, and fight for survival. I won't stop, Lena said quietly, staring down the council. I can't. We can't. The skepticism of the scientific community was only one of her challenges. There were those in positions of power who saw her findings as a threat to the status quo. The governments, the military, they wanted answers too, but they wanted control over them. Lena's discovery wasn't just a breakthrough. It was a key to the future, and everyone wanted a piece of it. With every step she took toward proving the truth, Lena was pulled deeper into a web of political intrigue, military strategy, and galactic implication. The fight for humanity's survival was just beginning, and the real conflict, the one that could determine the fate of the galaxy, was about to unfold. The stars stretched endlessly across the void, their cold light illuminating the black expanse of space. Humanity had become accustomed to exploring the unknown, uncovering the secrets of faraway systems, but nothing could prepare them for what was about to happen. In a single breathtaking moment, everything changed. A signal came through, an anomaly that no one could explain. It wasn't from a distant planet, nor a rogue spaceship. It was from beyond, a ripple of energy, like the presence of something ancient and powerful, surged through human space. Then the ships appeared, massive, ethereal vessels, glowing faintly, their forms defying the laws of physics. The Watchers had arrived. Lena Marcus stood on the observation deck of the Earth's flagship vessel, staring out at the impossibility in front of her. The Watchers, beings who had been in the cosmos long before humanity, had finally made their presence known. Their ships hovered silently, casting long shadows across the star-filled skies. No words were spoken, yet humanity could feel their weight, the gravity of eons of existence pressing down on them. Why are they here? Lena whispered. The Watcher's message was clear, even though it had come without uttering a single word. Through a series of complex light patterns and frequencies, they conveyed their warning. Humanity was on the brink of extinction, and only by unlocking the secrets of the Elder Race could they hope to survive the catastrophe that was coming. We've seen countless civilizations rise and fall. One of the Watchers communicated through the ship's speakers, their voice ethereal and distant. The Elder Race, once allies of our own, left behind a legacy that your kind is not ready to face. You must learn quickly, or your species will follow the same path as those who have come before. Lena's heart skipped a beat. The Watchers had been observers of time itself, witnessing the rise and fall of entire galaxies. And now they stood before humanity, offering both knowledge and a warning, a terrifying knowledge of what was to come. The Watchers were not here to conquer or enslave. Instead, they offered a bargain, knowledge in exchange for humanity's cooperation. They would grant Lena and her team access to the Elder Race's ancient technology, relics that could alter the course of human history. But such knowledge came at a price. What do they want in return? Lena asked, as she paced through the quiet halls of their ship, feeling the weight of their offer. Monroe, the ever-cautious engineer, raised his eyebrows. We don't know. That's the part that worries me. The Watchers had been cryptic about their true intentions, their motivations hidden beneath layers of mystery. They explained that unlocking too much of the Elder's technology could awaken something worse, something that had been dormant for eons. Who are the Reavers? Lena asked, her voice tinged with dread. The Watchers' response was chilling. They are hunters, drawn to the power of the Elder technology. Once they sense it, they will stop at nothing to destroy whoever is foolish enough to awaken it. The words hung in the air like a dark prophecy. Humanity now stood at the crossroads of power and destruction. The Watchers seemed to offer salvation, But at what cost? Lena's mind swirled with questions. Was this alliance their salvation? Or their doom? The days that followed were filled with sleepless nights and intense study. Lena and her team delved deeper into the Elders' ancient artifacts, unlocking secrets hidden for millennia. But it was one discovery, one realization that changed everything. Lena stumbled across a hidden chamber deep within the Elder technology. As the holographic displays came to life, her eyes widened in disbelief. What she found was beyond comprehension. Humanity was not a stranger to the Elder race. They were connected. The screens revealed images of Earth's early ancestors, their features unmistakably human. But there was something far more disturbing in the data. These early humans had been part of the Elder race's experiments, manipulated, altered and tested long before humanity had ever set foot in the stars. What does this mean? Monroe asked, his voice low and filled with awe. It means we've always been connected to the Elder race, Lena whispered, her mind reeling. We're their legacy, an experiment that survived. This revelation rocked Lena to her core. The history of her species had been a lie. Humanity had always been more intertwined with the cosmic forces they had only begun to understand. And now, as they unlocked more of the Elder's secrets, they were becoming part of something much larger, a galactic legacy, fraught with danger. But the more they uncovered, the more questions arose. What had the Elder race discovered that was so dangerous? And why had they abandoned their experiments? As Lena and her team delved deeper into the Elder technology, strange things began to happen. Equipment malfunctioned, energy surges rattled the ship, and a feeling of unease settled over the crew. The very fabric of reality seemed to bend as they unlocked more secrets of the ancient race. I don't like this, Monroe muttered as sparks flew from the terminal. Something's wrong with the power systems. It's like the ship's fighting us. The strange energy surges became more frequent, accompanied by disturbing visions, glimpses of the future, flashes of destruction, and haunting images of the Reaver. The team began to question their decision to continue unlocking the Elder's secrets. But even as they tried to pull back, the forces they had awakened seemed to take on a life of their own. The technology was not just advanced, it was alive, sentient, and the more they uncovered, the more it resisted them. Then came the final warning. Lena found a cryptic message hidden deep within the Elder data. The Reavers have awoken. You are the last of the Elder race's experiment. They will come for you. You are the key to the galaxy's future. But at what cost? The room grew cold as Lena realized what this meant. The Reavers were no longer a distant threat. They were coming, and they would stop at nothing to eliminate anyone who stood in their way. With the Reavers now tracking their every move, Lena and her team were caught between two forces: the Watchers, whose intentions remained unclear, and the Reavers, whose brutal violence knew no limits. The Watchers, however, were not idle. They revealed more of their cryptic plan. You are not just survivors, you are the hope of this galaxy, they told Lena, their voice filled with ancient authority. The Reavers will destroy everything, but you, humanity, have the potential to shape the future. The weight of the Watchers' words settled heavily on Lena. Could they really play a role in the galaxy's fate? Or was humanity doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past? As the Reavers closed in, Lena's team was forced to make a choice. They had the power to stop the coming storm, or to accelerate it. The knowledge they had uncovered was their greatest weapon, but it was also their greatest danger. The fate of the galaxy rested in their hands, and Lena had to decide. Would they embrace the power of the Elder race, risking everything to prevent the Reavers from destroying humanity? Or would they turn their backs on the unknown, knowing it could cost them the future? The storm was coming, and in the end, only one truth remained. Humanity's destiny was theirs to shape. The galaxy pulses with the quiet hum of vast ships cutting through the stars. Humanity has never faced a threat so colossal. The Watchers, mysterious, ancient beings, appear before Lena and her team, shrouded in an eerie calmness. Their warning echoes in the void. A cosmic disaster threatens the very existence of humanity, and only one artifact holds the key to survive. This weapon, a long-lost relic of the Elder race, is said to possess unimaginable power. Lena stands at the edge of the unknown,
The cold light of distant stars casts long shadows across her face. But her resolve is clear. Time is against. She must retrieve the weapon before it falls into the wrong hands. Specifically, the hands of the Reavers, violent enemies who will stop at nothing to destroy humanity. The Watcher's words hang in the air like a curse. Lena and her crew are given one mission: find the weapon before the Reavers do. The stakes are clear. Failure will mean the end of everything. The Watchers, who have observed countless civilizations rise and fall, are cryptic in their guidance, their true motivations hidden beneath layers of cosmic knowledge. But for now, the only thing Lena knows is that her team must journey to the farthest reaches of space, beyond the limits of human exploration. As Lena looks out at the star-filled horizon, the enormity of their mission sets. They are not only racing against time, they are racing against a superior force. The Reavers are ruthless, and they have already set their sights on the weapon. The tension escalates. With every second, the Reavers gain ground. If Lena and her team fail, it won't just be their lives at stake. It will be the survival of the human race. With their destination set, the crew embarks on their perilous journey into the unknown. The silence of space presses in on them, but Lena's thoughts are elsewhere. The Watchers have given them hope, but that hope comes with a heavy price. As their ship enters uncharted space, the tension reaches a new height. Time is running out. The desolate world they have landed on is unlike anything Lena has ever seen. Towering, ancient spires stretch toward a dark sky, remnants of a forgotten civilization. The air is thick with the weight of history, and the ground hums with an unnatural energy. Their mission is clear: find the weapon hidden within the Elder City. But the path is fraught with danger. Lena's team pushes forward, weapons ready. The planet is alive with danger. Creatures unlike anything they've ever encountered stalk the shadows, their eyes glowing with malice. The air itself seems charged, as if the land is aware of their presence. Every step they take brings them closer to the weapon, but also deeper into the grip of ancient forces that would rather see them dead. As they make their way deeper into the ruins, the team's resolve is tested. Mechanical failures plague their equipment, strange signals disrupt their communications, and the constant feeling of being watched makes every step feel like a threat. But they must press on. Failure is not an option. Suddenly, a massive creature bursts from the ground, its grotesque form a twisted mockery of life. The team fights back with everything they have, but they are not alone. The Reavers are closing in. They are not just after the weapon. They are hunting the human. The tension reaches its peak as Lena and her team fight not just for survival, but for the future of their species. The team barely escapes, bruised but alive. The stakes have never been clearer. The Reavers are relentless, and they are closing in fast. Lena's crew must continue their journey, but now they know they are not alone in their quest for the weapon. The hunt is on. Deep within the heart of the Elder City, Lena uncovers a hidden chamber. Inside, the walls are lined with intricate symbols, an ancient language that tells the story of the elder race's rise and fall. As she deciphers the message, a shocking truth comes to light. The weapon they seek is not merely a tool of power. It is a catastrophic force, one that could save humanity or doom it. Lena's mind races as the implications of her discovery sink in. The true nature of the disaster is not a natural event. It is the result of the Elder Race's own catastrophic creation. The weapon is a response to a galactic catastrophe that the Elders themselves caused, but the real revelation is far darker. The Reavers, once allies of the Elders, were betrayed in a brutal conflict that led to their fall. Their hatred for the Elder Race runs deep, and now they will stop at nothing to eradicate humanity for daring to follow in the Elders' footsteps. Lena's heart pounds as she realizes the enormity of the choice before her. The Reavers are not just enemies seeking power. They are driven by a thirst for vengeance. If they learn that humanity is tapping into the Elders' legacy, they will not hesitate to wipe them out. The weight of this truth hangs over Lena like a dark cloud. She now understands the true nature of the war they are about to face. As the team makes their way out of the chamber, the sense of urgency has never been more intense. They are not just racing to find the weapon. They are racing to survive to prevent a war that could annihilate everything. The Reavers' betrayal has set the stage for a galactic conflict that will determine the fate of all. Lena holds the weapon in her hands, a relic of unimaginable power. Its glow pulses with a life of its own, a promise of salvation or destruction. The team stands in silence, the weight of their discovery heavy on their shoulders. The weapon could save humanity from the impending disaster, but it comes with a terrible cost. Lena's mind races. The temptation to wield the weapon is overwhelming. She knows that if they use it, they could end the Reaver threat and secure humanity's future. But there's a darker side to the weapon's power. It could corrupt, destroy, and reshape the galaxy in ways they cannot foresee. Lena's decision will not only affect her team, but the future of human civilization. As the tension mounts, her crew begins to question the wisdom of using such destructive power. Some believe it is their only hope. Others fear the consequences of becoming the very monsters they are fighting. The debate rages, with Lena caught in the middle, struggling to reconcile her duty to protect her team with the moral weight of their choices.
The moment of decision arrives. Lena feels the weight of the galaxy on her shoulders. The weapon's power hums in her hands, whispering promises of glory and devastation. Can she trust humanity with such power? Or is it better to let the weapon fall into the void, never to be used? Lena's decision will define not only her legacy, but the future of the entire galaxy. As she faces the crew, ready to make her choice, the fate of humanity hangs in the balance. Lena stands alone before the weapon. Her team waits, unsure of what she will decide. Every breath she takes feels like a step closer to the end of everything. The weight of the decision is crushing. To use the weapon means taking a risk that could forever alter the future of the galaxy. To destroy it means turning her back on the only hope humanity has. Lena's heart races as she reflects on everything that led to this moment. The choices of her team, the dangerous path they've walked, the sacrifices they've made. It all comes down to this single pivotal moment. Can she trust herself to wield such power? Or will the consequences be more than humanity can bear? The decision is made. Lena knows what she must do. The choice is agonizing, but she steps forward, ready to face whatever comes next. Her team watches in silence, each of them knowing that their lives and the lives of countless others will be forever shaped by what happens next. Closure. Lena's decision will change the course of history. Whatever the outcome, humanity will face the consequence, but one thing is certain: the future will never be the same. The galaxy and its fate rests in the hands of those who dare to make the difficult choices. The city of the ancients, the Elder City, looms before Lena and her team, a vast structure that seems to stretch beyond the limits of the stars themselves. The architecture is a blend of alien elegance and forgotten power. Smooth, angular spires rise into the heavens, pulsating with energy that defies the very laws of physics. Ancient symbols, unreadable and terrifying, are etched into the walls, glowing faintly with a cold, otherworldly light. Lena's heart races as she steps onto the abandoned streets, the air thick with the scent of long-dead secrets. Her team moves cautiously, weapons drawn, eyes darting to every corner as they press forward. They are here to retrieve the most dangerous weapon in the galaxy, and time is running out. Reavers on the verge. Suddenly, a low growl echoes through the city's empty corridors. Lena stiffens. The Reavers are here. Ahead, the Reaver leader, Jorath, stands before a massive Elder terminal. His blackened armor gleams in the dim light, a grotesque reflection of the power he seeks to harness. Beside him, a colossal glowing sphere hums ominously, a manifestation of the weapon they've all come to claim. "We're too late," mutters Captain Vance, his voice strained with disbelief. "They're already activating it." Lena steps forward, determination replacing fear. "We won't let them win. Not this time." Fierce combat. The first shot echoes through the ruins. Lena's pulse quickens as she dives for cover, her team falling into place around her. A brutal firefight erupts. The Reavers, fueled by desperation and rage, fight like rabid animals. No honor, no mercy. Their weapons are devastating, but the humans are quick, agile, adapting in ways the Reavers can't predict. Lena fires a plasma bolt that sends a Reaver flying backward, but it's a temporary victory. She can see the terror in her crew's eyes. The weight of the universe rests on their shoulders. We need to destroy the terminal. Lena yells, "Vance, cover me." With swift coordination, Lena and her team surge forward, but the Reavers are relentless, pushing them back inch by inch. Weaponized Elder technology amidst the chaos. Lena stumbles upon a console. Her hands shake as she activates it, a holographic display flickering to life. The words burn into her mind like acid. The weapon, it's not just a weapon. It's a device designed to bend the galaxy to the will of its wielder. The Reavers, they've weaponized the Elder technology. They've turned it into a tool of control. Lena's breath catches. This isn't just about survival. The Reavers have already corrupted the Elder's legacy. The Reavers' true goal. Jorah's voice echoes through the city's speakers, distorted but clear. You think you're saving humanity. You're only prolonging its inevitable fall. We will dominate the galaxy. We will destroy your race before you ever become a threat. Lena's mind raced. The Reavers had once been allies of the Elder, but their betrayal had led to a catastrophic war, one that shattered the Elder race. Now the Reavers seek revenge, not just against the Elder's legacy, but against humanity itself. They want to destroy it because they fear us. Lena whispers to herself. Lena's gaze hardens. She knows why the Reavers fear humanity's potential. Humanity is a species that adapts, survives, and rises. The Reavers, bound by their bitterness, cannot fathom a future where they are surpassed by the very species they once sought to destroy. We're not going to let that happen, Lena mutters, steeling herself. We'll fight until the last breath. The battle rages around them, but Lena can hardly hear the chaos. Her eyes are fixed on the glowing terminal. The key to everything. She can use it to destroy the Reavers, to end the threat once and for all. But the cost would be immense. Activate it, Vance urges, his voice gruff. We can end this now. Lena hesitates. The weight of the decision presses on her chest. Destroying the Reavers would save humanity, but at what cost? Would they become like the very beings they fought against? Would they risk the destruction of everything they fought for? Lena looks to her crew, their faces full of fear, resolve, and uncertainty. She knows what they're asking. She knows the temptation, but there's another choice. She could deactivate the weapon, prevent the galactic catastrophe without annihilation, but it would mean risking everything. Her crew, humanity's future. Once we use it, there's no going back. Lena says quietly, we could change the galaxy, but at what cost? A final decision. Lena takes a deep breath, a flash of clarity cutting through the fear. We won't become like them. We'll find another way. Humanity's strength doesn't come from destruction. It comes from what we build. With a decisive motion, Lena deactivates the weapon. The Reavers fall back, their plans thwart. The weapon's energy dissipates, but so does Lena's sense of victory. The battle may be won, but the cost of their survival weighs heavily on her shoulders. Many lives have been lost. The future is uncertain. Lena looks to her team. We've won, but there's a long road ahead. This is just the beginning. A new beginning. With the Reavers retreating, the galaxy is safe for now. Lena surveys the city, the ancient ruins of the Elder race, now rendered inert. Humanity stands at the precipice of a new era, one that could bring hope or destruction. We've averted one disaster, Lena says softly, but we have to be ready for the next one. Humanity's ascendance. As Lena stands, staring out at the horizon, she realizes something profound. Humanity has taken its first step toward galactic power, not because of the weapon, but because of their unyielding will to survive. They have earned their place in the star. As the team stands together, watching the Elder city fade into the distance, Lena reflects on the true impact of their victory. The Elder's technology may be gone, but the knowledge and resilience it unlocked in humanity will live on. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear. Humanity's place in the galaxy has been secured. The challenges ahead will be daunting, but Lena knows that no matter what comes next, humanity will face it as one, united, adaptable, and ready for anything the universe throws their way. Lena stood among the ruins, the smoke from the wreckage of the Reaver stronghold curling into the sky. The battlefield now silent, echoed only the heavy breathing of her surviving team members. The thrill of victory was long gone.
replaced by the crushing weight of loss. Their triumph had come at an unimaginable cost. Friends lost, the scars of war etched deeply into their souls, and a galaxy forever altered by their actions. The battle had been fierce, the stakes higher than any one of them could have anticipated. The Elder weapon, once a symbol of power and salvation, had been turned into a tool of destruction. In the end, it had been Lena's decision to use it, not to destroy, but to disable, to prevent the Reavers from using the weapon to conquer the galaxy. The Reavers were gone, but the echoes of their destruction remained. The team had saved the galaxy, but at what price? Lena's eyes drifted to the stars, each one now holding new meaning. They had won, but the victory felt hollow. The weight of it all pressed heavily on her chest. She had to keep going, had to be strong for the team, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something had been lost forever. And there were still unanswered questions. Though the cosmic disaster had been averted, the true consequences of their actions were far from clear. The Reavers' defeat had not solved the deeper mysteries of the Elder technology, or the threat it posed. What would come next? What had they truly unleashed? The Watchers arrived in a cascade of shimmering light, their vast forms looming over the team like ancient gods. Lena and her team stood in their shadow, humbled, yet defiant. The Watchers, grateful for humanity's success, had their own warning to deliver. A warning that sent a chill through Lena's spine. The balance of the galaxy has been irrevocably altered by your actions. The Watcher's voice echoed in their minds. What you've done cannot be undone. The consequences will ripple across the star. Humanity had been a species on the fringes of galactic politics, a fragile and relatively insignificant race. But now, standing in the aftermath of their victory, Lena realized the truth. Humanity was no longer small. They were no longer just survivors. They were players, major players. Lena's thoughts raced as she processed the enormity of their new position. We have a place in this galaxy now, she muttered under her breath. A part of her was exhilarated by the possibilities, the alliances, the power, the discovery. But another part of her couldn't shake the feeling of dread that lurked just beneath the surface. The Watchers spoke again, their tone shifting from gratitude to something colder. Humanity is now a force to be reckoned with. There is an opportunity for you to join a larger galactic alliance. But be warned, such a choice is fraught with danger. Trust is not easily earned in these times. A crossroads. Lena glanced at her team. The decision before them was not just about survival anymore. It was about destiny. The galaxy knew now. Earth's secrets, secrets of the Elder technology, secrets of their own potential, were no longer hidden. The veil had been lifted, and humanity stood exposed, its history and technology now on display for the vast, uncaring universe to judge. Other species would see Earth as either a valuable ally or a looming threat, and both options were fraught with peril. The knowledge of the Elder race, their history, their rise and fall, was now in humanity's hand. The team knew all too well the power they wielded now, and the terrifying weight of that knowledge. Lena stood before her team, the weight of the moment bearing down on her. We're no longer just a little blue planet, she said quietly. We've set something into motion, and I don't know if we're ready for what's coming. The future of Earth had never been more uncertain. The burden of knowledge weighed heavily on their shoulder. They had not only changed the course of their own history, but now they would have to navigate the complexities of interstellar politics, alliances, and threats. What would they do with this newfound power? Would they use it wisely, or would it consume them, as it had the Elder race? As Lena reflected on the fall of the Elder race, a creeping fear gnawed at her. Their downfall had not been a result of some external force, but their own arrogance. Their insatiable thirst for power had led them to destroy themselves, thinking they were invincible. The Elder race had thought their technology would secure their place in the universe, but instead it had been their undoing. Humanity stood on the precipice of the same fate. We have to be careful, Lena whispered to herself. Though she knew her team, the same mistakes that led to their fall could be ours. We have the power now, but at what cost? The team, despite their victory, couldn't ignore the dark parallel. They now held the same tools, the same potential for greatness, and for destruction. Humanity could choose the path of wisdom and progress, or they could let their ambition cloud their judgment and fall into the same trap as those who had come before them. Lena stood at the edge of the ship, staring into the endless expanse of space. The stars stretched out before her, an infinite canvas, a new frontier. Humanity's future was unwritten, and the possibilities were both exhilarating and terrifying. They had done it. They had averted a cosmic disaster, defeated the Reavers, and now held the key to the galaxy's future in their hands. But what did that mean? Would they rise to greatness, or would they succumb to the same flaws that had brought down the Elder? As the ship powered up and the stars blurred into streaks of light, Lena felt a surge of hope, tempered by the weight of their decisions. Humanity had earned its place in the stars, but the road ahead would not be easy. They had the potential for greatness, but they also had the potential to destroy everything. The question now wasn't what the galaxy would do to humanity, but what humanity would do with the galaxy. And that, Lena knew, was the most dangerous question of all. The rebirth of Earth, a time of renewal. Earth stood in the aftermath of the battle, the scars of war still visible in the shattered cities, and the lingering shadows of destruction. But the air, heavy with the weight of loss, was also filled with a quiet hum of new beginning. Humanity, battered but unbroken, had taken its first steps toward rebuilding. The streets that had once been filled with the cries of battle now rang with the sounds of construction. Teams of workers, human and alien, came together to repair the broken world. Lena stood in the center of it all, looking at the horizon. The victory over the Reavers had been hard won, but now, with their defeat, the real work began. It wasn't just about rebuilding buildings. It was about rebuilding hope. There was no going back to the way things were before. The war had changed everything, but that wasn't a bad thing. The threat of the Reavers was gone, and the galaxy now lay before them full of promise. "We've made it," Lena whispered to herself, a sense of quiet triumph filling her. But the journey is just beginning. Humanity now had the opportunity to forge its future, one rooted in the lessons of the past, but filled with the endless possibilities of the stars. As they began to harness the Elder technology, they weren't just rebuilding Earth, they were building a future. The Watchers watched, always watching, from a distance. Their massive, ethereal forms hovered just outside the reach of humanity's understanding, their presence felt but rarely seen. Lena knew that even now the Watchers were keeping a close eye on them, offering subtle guidance through cryptic messages and strange anomalies in the fabric of space. "Humanity's progress is impressive," a voice whispered in Lena's mind, a cool, distant tone that felt like it came from the stars themselves. "But beware the path you tread." The Watchers had given humanity a chance to rise, but their true motives remained a mystery. Their assistance had been invaluable during the Reaver conflict, but now, as humanity ventured deeper into the unknown, Lena couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to their involvement than what met the eye. Was their help a gift, or a test? She turned to her team, the weight of this uncertainty hanging heavy in the air. They had achieved so much, but how much of it had been orchestrated? How much of this new chapter in humanity's story was truly their own? Lena's burden, leadership, and the weight of the future. Lena stood on the bridge of the ship, staring out into the vastness of the unknown. Before her, a new galaxy awaited. A galaxy that would be shaped by the decisions humanity made today. The weight of her leadership, of the responsibility to guide Earth and its allies through this new era, pressed heavily on her shoulders. It was a burden she had accepted, but it was not one she would ever take lightly. As she gazed at the swirling nebulae and distant stars, Lena couldn't help but reflect on the path that had brought her here. She wasn't just a leader of Earth anymore. She was a leader of the future. Humanity's future. It was her hands that would shape this new chapter. Her choices that would determine what kind of legacy Earth would leave in the galaxy. But even as she thought about the future, a pang of uncertainty tugged at her heart. What lay ahead? The challenges were vast, and the mysteries of the cosmos were as terrifying as they were enticing. Yet with each challenge, Lena felt a spark of hope. Humanity had proven it could survive, adapt, and overcome. They could do it again. "The future is ours," Lena murmured, "but we must be careful not to lose ourselves in the process." The battle was over, but the story of the Elder race was far from finished. The technology they had left behind, the secrets they had hidden, and the unknown forces they had once encountered were all still out there, waiting to be discovered. Lena knew that the true test for humanity had just begun. As she looked out into the depths of space, Lena realized that their victory over the Reavers had only opened the door to a far greater mystery. The Elder race, for all their advanced technology and power, had not been all-knowing. They had left behind more questions than answers, more dangers than solutions. What had they truly discovered before their downfall? What had driven them to their self-destruction? Humanity's place in the galaxy was now secure, but the path ahead was filled with uncertainty. The Elder's legacy was a mystery, a riddle wrapped in the stars, and it was one that humanity would have to solve if they were to survive and thrive in the galactic community. The future was full of possibilities, but it was also full of peril. The challenges humanity faced were only just beginning, but Lena, standing at the edge of this new chapter, was ready. She had no choice. The galaxy was theirs to explore, and humanity would rise to meet whatever came next.